Friki de Bici, riding my bici around the streets of Valencia, Spain. Tengo muchas malas ideas. Por ejemplo, en este video solo voy a hablar español todo el tiempo. Incluso en la última conversación me siento como un poco raro. Me siento como un poco incómodo. Necesito tener más paciencia. Porque yo sé que todo va bien. Todo va bien. Voy a encontrar mi manera. Voy a encontrar la dirección. Donde quiero ir. I just did a video that I'm gonna edit down where I spoke Spanish for good chunks of the video, and the reason why I did it is I feel like I need to speak Spanish more generally, but I need to get over all of my insecurities, which I talked about in that video, surrounding speaking Spanish in day-to-day life and on video. I don't think that I've made enough progress, even though I have made progress. I don't like the way that I sound, even though I probably don't sound all that bad. I want to be further along. I want to be more conversational. It's as simple as that. And one of the things that I said that I've been thinking about since I said it, that I think makes a lot of sense, it's a good parallel, is that when I got lost the other day on my bike, and that's a video, I did a video where I got lost. I literally got lost. I had no idea where I was, like none. My wife and I were looking back at the video and she's like, I'm just trying to figure out where you are and how you got here. It just, I was really out of the way. And when you look at the map, like I covered some ground. I rode like 20 kilometers. And I didn't have a concern at all. Like in fact, I was enjoying basically every moment of it. Speaking Spanish, it's a whole different story, you know? But I have to treat it like that, like getting lost. It's okay to get lost. When you do get lost, you end up finding your way. It sounds so stupid and so cliche, but some of this stuff sticks because it's true. You're gonna sound like an idiot. You're gonna make mistakes, but in that process of getting lost, that's when all the learning happens. And unless you're willing to put yourself there as close to 100% as possible, tanto como pueda, or more, you're never really going to make the progress you say you so desperately want to make. And when I say you, I'm referring to myself. I'm giving myself, I don't know if I want to say a pep talk, because I don't really think I need a pep talk. I'm not going to bed crying about this stuff at night, but it's certainly something that I think about, and it really is crazy watching things play out in real time. Things that you had talked about and I had written about over and over again in the newsletter before moving to Spain. And you see them playing out in your life. It's just weird. Like, not the stuff that happened like Friki de Bici that I never planned for. That's super cool. But I'm talking about over and over again I said, you know, we're making this move in part to challenge ourselves. Especially as we're getting older. I just turned 50. In the video where I spoke a bit more Spanish, I talked about the idea that it really does do something to your brain in a good way. Like when I was speaking Spanish and writing at the same time and speaking out loud in Spanish, like I was extra distracted because my brain power is being used differently than when it's on autopilot speaking English. so weird. Like, really, really weird. But that's just an indication to me that it is working your brain, presumably in a good way. And I always said, like, this is part of what we want with this move, is to do that to ourselves, is to put ourselves into uncomfortable situations that are going to help us grow. And when you're going through them, they can be difficult at times, they can be challenging. But this is it. This is it. It's happening right now. Like, these struggles I talk about with the language and these insecurities around the language, and then just the way that it has a physical and a physiological response. Like, this is it. I don't know, man. Like, as humans, we talk about doing a whole bunch of shit, and we don't do most of it, let's face it. We talk a lot and we don't do a lot. I'm as guilty as anybody else. To just see it happening is just like, it's pretty neat. You're gonna hate when people say things are surreal. It's just, we use these words so much that we've sapped all meaning out of them. But like, it really is surreal. No, venga, tranquila. But it is, it feels surreal. It's one of those surreal moments. Like, okay, this is the process that you talked about without knowing exactly if or how it was going to happen. See, like right there, that blind spot, or the bus just didn't care. I refer to something I mentioned in another video about one of the downsides of the bike system here is there are a lot of blind spots, and that was one of them. Like, I had the right of way to keep going there. Had I kept going, I would have been hit by a bus. You always have to be looking to the side of you where a car or a bus could be potentially turning. That's one reason why there's a speed limit here. It sounds stupid, and I've talked about it being kind of stupid, but you have to either abide by it or be extra careful, because there was an example. Either that bus didn't see me and it was an example of the blind spot, or like a lot of bus drivers in a lot of cities, he just didn't seem to give a shit that I was there, or didn't look to see if I was there. Had I kept going there, I would have gotten hit. Like, he wasn't stopping. Now I have a pretty good sense of another connection. I was kept saying the other day, oh, I'm back in Rusafa, back in my neighborhood, and I wasn't, but now I am. And I know this, and I will prove it to you in just a second. And see, just like that. Estamos de vuelta en Rusafa. Honestly, if you're looking like, if you come here and you start riding your bike, and you're looking to commit a little act of kindness on a regular basis, that's one of them right there. Letting an older person go in the crosswalk. Because even here where most people do stop and it's relatively safe. So you can see we're back in Rusafa, where we often start these bike rides. I'm going to keep riding though. I want to ride today. I'm going to turn off the camera in a little bit and just ride. But I'm in the mood to ride. I'm always in the mood to ride, but especially in the mood today. There's an ambulance. This is good in case anything happens to me. But yeah, let an old person go on the crosswalk, like, intentionally. Or, you know, don't, like, bear down on this guy who's going around this construction. A lot of times they give you a smile, which is nice. They appreciate it. Spaniards aren't people who walk around with smiles on their faces, but they also are, like, incredibly, they're very nice people, you know, when you get a smile from them or start a conversation. And I know I'm generalizing, but it's like you walk around the streets here, and I like this. Like, I don't walk around with a smile on my face. In fact, if you look at me, you might think that I'm angry all the time with my unibrow furrowed. That's not the case. I often feel like, oh, maybe people don't like me much. But it's like, well, when you walk around looking like you're angry all the time, in the United States, like, that has an effect because there's all these fake smiles that people put on all day and throw around. It's not like that here. I find that generally to be the case in the parts of Europe that I've been to and been able to explore. I'm way ahead of my work. July was a good month, and I'm recording this on August 1st. So I'm gonna ride a little bit more. Normally I would go home and probably do some work right now, but I'm gonna ride and set myself up for a world of pain in that yoga class tonight. You might hear, oh, yoga, por favor. Pero Bikram yoga, it's 90 minutes. It's at least 104 degrees and at least 40 to 50% humidity. And you go through 26 or 28 postures, and you do almost all of them twice. And the instructor always tells people, especially new students, that it never gets easy. He says, you know, after 10 years, siempre duro. It's always hard, it's still hard. We did a variation of Bikram yoga in Los Angeles at a place called Core Power, which I will never have a bad thing to say about, because the people that were at the studio we went to in Hollywood, some of the nicest people I ever met. My wife got me into yoga. She kept me going with it. And I really credit a lot of the instructors with keeping me going. But they definitely do a variation of Bikram. It's a bit more LA style. A bit more, oh, you know, like, it's chill. Like, if you want to do it this way or you want to do it that way, it's fine. And I thought that was normal, you know? So we came here and went to this one other hot yoga studio that calls itself Bikram. And it's fine, but they don't really call you out when you're doing the postures. The room was not hot at all. And it just wasn't a challenge for us at all. So we're like, my goodness, is this what Bikram yoga and hot yoga is? My wife knows a bit more about it than I do, so she was skeptical from the beginning. So we found this other studio. Oh my God, like, this is Bikram yoga. Like, they are very particular about how you do the poses, alongside reasons why, which is always nice. And it beats the hell out of you. But I think it does it in a good way. I love that kind of riding right there. So much fucking fun. Fuck, I love it. so much. European cities, man, they got it down, you know? You funnel heavier traffic to a handful of streets around the core of the city center, and then you just pop off of one of those streets and boom, here you are in the relatively calm tree canopy. It is the way to construct a city. It is a way to do life. I love Americans who will say, well, it's because Europe's older, you know, that's why it's like that. Bullshit. As if the United States didn't have the urban planning infrastructure in place, just like the European infrastructure, really. And then they just decided to systematically tear it out of the ground and make suburbia and car dependency in cities the norm. Like, the United States could look exactly like Europe. The United States made the choice post-war to not look like Europe. Let's make that 110% clear. That's what we're doing. We're riding along together, so please like the video, subscribe to the channel, maybe tell a friend or two, and we'll continue riding along and through Valencia together for, oh, what do you say, the next 50 years? That sounds like a desirable plan to me.